So we're on the first turn of the game. It's October 1st, 1941. The weather is automatically clear for the first turn, so we don't have to check that. There are no reinforcements in this game. So what's going to happen basically is we start with the German movement phase. So the first thing that I want to do is to try to reduce some of the Soviet fighter cover that's going to interfere with my, bombing missions. So I go to my air base at Novgorod, and I sent a squadron of Messerschmitt Bf-109s out to Dmitriev Elgovsky, which has an air base and a squadron of Yak-1 fighters. So it was an air battle, and the Yaks aborted with no damage. So we've cleared that patrol net. Then I decided to take another squadron of Messerschmitts. These are based at an air base at Konotop, and these fly out to Lgov, and they find there an air base with a squadron of Lag-3 fighters. So there's an air combat here. The Luftwaffe, their combat strength is 4 versus a 2 on the Lag-3s. So in this case, the Soviet fighters abort, plus they suffer some damage and take a step loss. So that's successful. Then I do another fighter sweep. This time I send a squadron of Messerschmitts from Unicha Air Base to Bryansk. And there, at that air base, there are 2 squadrons of I-16 fighters. So attacking one at a time is how this works, and I end up aborting the Soviet fighter, plus it takes a loss, so it has to flip to its reduced side. And then when I took on the second squadron of I-16s, I ended up aborting the Bf-109s, and they suffered a step loss. So there's still one active fighter here, and what I decided to do is to take a second squadron of 109s from Unicha and send it to engage this last squadron. And this time the Luftwaffe succeeds in aborting the Soviet I-16s. They don't take any damage, but they're out of action. So I've now knocked down all of the patrol zones that could interfere with any bombing missions that I might want to do. So that's the objective. So then next I decided to fuel up the 4th Panzer Division, which costs 1 supply point, which I have in a stash right nearby. And then I activated the 7th Recon Battalion, which is I put it in move mode, and it bypassed the Soviet 127th Light Brigade on that track, and it went right around it to the village of Dmitry Lgovsky, which is where I put down that squadron of Yak-1s. And the Yak-1s, even though they're inactive, they can get enough fuel and escape, and that's what they do. They're unscathed, but they escape to the airbase at Orel. So Dmitriev Elgovsky is now captured by the 4th Panzer. Next, I decided to take the 12th and 33rd Infantry Regiments of the same 4th Panzer, and they are in move mode, and they move all the way up to Svetsk, where the 127th tank is, and I attempt an overrun on them. The 47th Panzer headquarters is able to pay the 2 tokens that are needed to fuel them. To pay for the combat supply, and I end up, the action rating difference is I have my lead unit is a 4, the 12th Infantry, and their lead unit is the 127th, their only unit, and it's a 1. So I have a very good chance of getting a surprise. But either way, I have a 2-to-1 attack in close terrain, but I end up rolling for surprise, and I get a 5 column shift, so it actually puts me in close terrain at the 10-to-1 column. So that's pretty good, except then I rolled a 2, a 3 for the combat. But I still can add the action ratings on, and I have a +3 difference. So I ended up eliminating the 127th Light Tank. However, I had to take an option. And I decided that I didn't really need to take the loss at this point because it was only a small part of the division going out. So I decided to retreat and end the movement. Then I took the 103rd Artillery Regiment from the 4th Panzer and I moved it up into the village of Sevesk. And then I had the 135th Panzer Battalion and the 43rd Motorcycle Battalions move into the railroad area right behind the Soviet 13th headquarters, which is at Saradinata, and hopefully I'll be able to cut off their supply at some point. Next, I decided to fuel up the 3rd Panzer Division. I put them in reserve so they can move a quarter of their movement points, and they're all in move mode, so I basically get 4 movement points. So I just move them along the road toward Svesk, and what can happen is during the exploitation phase, I can take their reserve marker off, and then they can have their full movement and take off. So that's what I intend to do. There's still a lot more to do in this turn, so I'm going to stop it here, but if I pick this up, I'll put another video out, and stay tuned in case that does show up, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.